Hey, how's everyone doing today? Alright, this is Brian from RightServers.com, and we're going to go through a little multi-part demo here. And eventually what we're going to do is we'll start out with a completely blank application. We'll have to create it in here in a minute. And eventually what we'll end up with, hopefully, will be something that looks like this, which is simply two servers, but all these other appliances that are in here act to make these two servers completely redundant, and then they're also run through a load balancer so that if either one of these servers goes down, all of these systems will direct all the traffic to just one server, but while both of the servers are up, you get load balancing, so all of the incoming traffic gets split between these two servers. So it works out to be pretty nice, and there's a lot of stuff on this canvas. So we're going to start out with a blank canvas, and we'll kind of go in little manageable pieces, and that way you can build it together as we go along, or you can watch some of the videos for just some parts and just take those parts out of the video that you need. So I think for the first video part, what we're going to do is we'll start off with an INSSLR gateway, which is this right here, and we'll set up a load balancer, and we'll set up a couple servers here, and we'll set up a MySQL database server as well. We'll add in an out gateway because you need that for any application that uses an in gateway, and then we may get to the NFS for storage, and this is a CIFS log server here as well. I'm not entirely sure what we'll add on here in the first part, but we'll at least get the gateway, load balancer, and we'll set up some servers going, and we'll take it from there. So let's see. I know I started to build an application for this the other day, but I don't know if I saved it in here or if I deleted it or not, so that's fine. But let's go and we'll basically all I did here is we just logged in. That's the only thing we've done so far, so we'll go ahead and start a new application up. So there it is, it's created. You just left click and then it opens up. And then to start with, we'll pull in our gateway, which is in INSSLR, like so. We'll go ahead and configure this, and I guess also before we start, if you plan to build the entire full application when we're done, this is what you're going to need. You'll need 6 IP addresses, and these are essentially what we'll assign everything to. But to start, we're just going to need one, so we'll start from the top and work our way down. Now, one of the most important parts when you go to configure this thing, here we go, so we'll put in the IP. And that mask, now I never remember what any of this info is on any grid that I'm working on, so don't ever remember like I do, you can just go back to the dashboard, and as long as the grid was set up correctly, your info should be in there, which is very nice. Now, one of the most important parts when you start up your INSSLR gateway is this right here, L7 accept, where it's set to both. For it to run this this option here, as you can see, both means HTTP and HTTPS. This appliance won't start. It will fail starting HTTPS if you don't change this, because you first have to configure your SSL key, which is kind of a pain, at least in older versions, which is most likely what this is running because our grid's out of date. Our grid's 278, which is actually pretty good for this demo, because that way, even if you're running an older grid, you can see what's going on. This is just kind of our dev test grid, so we haven't bothered to update it yet. We still have other clients that are running older grids, so it's kind of nice. We can go back and check to see what's going on with them. So you don't want to start with this with both, and if you get some weird failure, that's this is most likely one of the reasons why. So you just want to set this HTTP Eventually we may go in here and set this up for SSL. I think we will eventually. And I can show that to you guys a little bit later on. On the older Applogic version, it was a pain because this volume here is read-only, where you have to put the key. So you have to shut it down, remount the volume so that you can write to it, put your key in, then shut it back down again and remount it read-only so that your key can't be tampered with. So it's a good system once you get it set up and running, so that way your SSL key is safe because it's on a read-only volume. But I just wish this was HTTP by default, so that when you go through and you do stuff like this, you don't have to worry about changing this. So it's just kind of one of those things that maybe one day Applogic will change. So there you go. Alright, so that's our first little setup here. So now our gateway is set up.